Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a quick little performance test here between the brand new Sony Xperia XZs and the Galaxy S8 to see how Sony's latest flagship does compare against the S8, which is considered to be a very strong device overall. We're going to start them up at the same time and see. So Sony is coming with Snapdragon 820 and we're getting Exynos 8895 in the latest Samsung, which you can see is already started up here and ready to go. I mean, Sony seems to be very slow when it comes to startup, and I think you can see definitely Sony is going the more conservative kind of approach when it comes to the the software here. Well, shall we say the build quality, it seems to be a little bit more, shall we say, minimalistic than what Samsung's offering. I mean, look at all that kind of display that you do get in the same form factor as the XZs, which is pretty awesome when you consider. Nevertheless, how do they compare in terms of the performance? Because I've seen a few videos of the XZs performing pretty well, compared to Samsung. So we're going to see if that is the case here. We have installed a few apps on both of them, so we can just see, the performance here day to day. So that was the XZs then. We do have Play Store. That was the S8. Zoom in a little bit so we can see. We have, what else do we have? Argos. So that was probably the S8 then again, only just. That was a draw. S8 again, 3-1. So you can definitely see here the S8 seems to be, I think, pulling out ahead, maybe. So that was quite similar. Quite similar again. Faster on the XZs there. So it's pulled a point back, which is nice. And I think we have some other things as well installed, so let's try a game. Who will load it faster? Oh, so you can see I think Sony loaded it faster actually, because obviously you can only play on one device, so that is very nice there. We do have PlayStation, so very similar on both of them. Would be funny if Samsung did load faster PlayStation app. So this one again quite conclusive. It looks Samsung blowing away the XZs with that one. I'm gonna say overall, I think the XZs has done quite well considering how old the processor is. Oops, I've already done that one. Let's go back. And which one haven't we done? The golf game. It is quite an old processor, but you can see it is only just behind on a few of them. And yes, while it is behind, and it would be nice if it was ahead, at the end of the day the phone is actually quite a bit cheaper than what you have to pay for Samsung. But if you do want the best performance here, you can definitely see the Samsung is ahead. So not sure, why some of the videos show the XZs being ahead, really. But we're going to have a look at the performance here of the speed test. So we are on the same server. Just start with the Samsung. I think Sony should definitely make its own processors going forward. I mean, they definitely got the skill to do it. Seems a bit weird to me how they have to use, Qualcomm all the time. And you can see a very decent score here on the Samsung. Oh, Sony completely blows the Samsung away, which I wasn't expecting actually. So very nice performance here, gotta say. Props where props is due, better for everything. One of the best scores I've seen actually for this test. We'll give the Samsung a chance to recover, because we do like to be fair. And is it going to recover? Oh, it's getting there. No, you see, I'm quite suspect about the Samsung in terms of the Wi-Fi this year. I don't think they're up there with the other manufacturers. So solid win here for Sony last when it comes to the Wi-Fi. Very nice. We're just going to do some real world web browsing, should I say. So we'll just go to GSM Arena. So we are using Samsung's own browser here, which I gotta say, I think the Samsung experience when you're web browsing is far superior in terms of the, the AMOLED display, the bezel-less kind of design. Makes the Sony look a bit out of date. They have been using, I think, similar kind of form factor for many years now. And you can see here again, very fast on the Samsung. We are still waiting when it comes to the Sony, which may have, not drunken its coffee. So it's just completely ignored me with this one. It's like it can't be bothered. Let's try again. There we go. So we'll just do one more phone arena. So these sorts of videos are painful for me because I am a Sony fan. When Sony doesn't perform, it's very painful. But you can see again, Samsung straight in there, pictures loaded. So quite strange, Wi-Fi very fast in terms of the benchmark, but the actual performance you can see, Samsung's got you covered overall. We do have 4 gigs of RAM now in the XZs, so let's have a look at the multitasking, which should be a little bit better than the 3 gigs of RAM in the XZ. So both of them have 4 gigs of RAM, and you can see we have a reload straight away on the XZs. So yeah, you can see they've still not mastered the memory management here that you're going to get with the Samsung, which is very smooth overall. You can see. So hopefully it won't reload every single one. It's reloaded again. So Samsung is about 3 ahead here overall. I am keeping count. It did reload this one though, so it's not perfect, but it's close. It's close to perfection, let's be honest. So I think it reloaded the game here on the Samsung, and the Sony kept the game in memory, which is very good. So we'll give it a point there, 3-1. And let's try golf. both of them reloaded this, so no points given. And next one, FIFA. Both of them kept that in memory, very nice. So yeah, I think overall you can see I think Samsung just provided a little bit better performance overall, but this, you know, the Sony didn't do too bad. I think overall the extra RAM has increased the performance, particularly when it comes to the games, like loading, keeping it in memory a little bit, but still a very strange decision to use Snapdragon 820. Even the 821 probably would have been a better decision overall. And in terms of the design, as I said, you know, the Sony definitely needs to, you know, start to copy what we're getting here on Samsung to stay relevant, because this kind of bezels on both sides seems to be, you know, a bit weird looking when you can consider this beast. But then again, I think Sony has an advantage in terms of the fingerprint scanner, which is in a much better place than here. It probably takes some getting used to, and if you're based abroad you might not even get it actually because of legal issues, but I think it's definitely in a good place, and you do get your super slow recording now, which I don't think you get on the Samsung. In terms of the camera, you get a physical shutter button, which is nice as well to consider. Full waterproofing obviously, and everything you would expect. So both of them have headphone jacks. You know, we're not jumping on the Apple bandwagon there. I do prefer the one on the top. I think overall it's a more kind of natural place. I think they have 64 gigs internal storage as well, so lots of, you know, internal storage for that. But overall, I think Samsung is probably coming out with more attractive device, just a little bit more if you ask me, especially from the front. But when it comes to the back, I think the Sony is more attractive right now. But you know, it's up to you. What do you think? You can see this does get quite a lot of fingerprints, etc. But yeah, just a quick little comparison here, Sony Xperia XZs and the Samsung Galaxy S8. Hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.